It's hard to believe that we've got an Ulster senior heavyweight final without Paul Douglas, who's been around for more years than most of us care to remember, but no sign of Big Paul this year. And two big men in red from Omagh, the 30-year-old Ben McCarrigle, and his opponent in blue from the Ederney club, Pat McGurn, is now 28 years old, so the two oldest men in the entire championship. And there'll be a brand new name on the McAuley Cup, held with such distinction for so many years by Paul Douglas. Good right hand to start with by Ben McCarrigle. As a joiner by trade and a part-time fireman. This, in fact, is his first contest in some 6 years. He last fought with St Mary's Amateur Boxing Club in Strabane. Now lives in Omagh. Put on a fair old bit of weight because he used to box at several divisions lower than this. Neither of them particularly tall. Again, McCarrigle scoring, that time with the left. Pat McGurn also making something of a comeback. This his first fight for 3 years. Former student at Queen's University, and whilst there boxed for St Malachy's and St George's Club. He's a farm advisor from County Fermanagh. Pat McGurn in blue, his opponent in red from Omagh, Ben McCarrigle. Well, they don't look as if they've been inactive for quite some time, although there's a lot of open-handed punching there, the incorrect part of the glove being used. It's got to be, to score at all, it's got to be with the knuckle part of the glove. Nicely picked out in white in modern gloves, and it's got to land on the target area, which can be the head or the torso. Bit of a low blow there from the man in red, McCarrigle. Referee Paul Carson, one of the most experienced officials in the Ulster Council. A minute to go to the end of the first. Both looking for what seems to be one big shot. How either would have fared against Paul Douglas, well, it's down to pure speculation. Well, that looked a little bit on the low side, but Paul Carson didn't seem to be bothered by it. And the second time he was. Just a caution to Ben McCarrigle. Both of them short and stocky, and not really big enough for heavyweight. Step back on the command break, and that's the end of the first round. There's Ben McCarrigle, who had the better of the exchanges, it seems, from Omagh Boys Club, a fairly well-advanced boy, and enjoying himself, the 30-year-old. A bit of controversy in that first round. Paul Carson on the far side, and there was that well, low punch, and that's one he certainly felt and didn't like at all. 4 scoring points on the computer system between these two in the heavyweight final, the 91-kilogram division for the McAuley Cup. A brisk start. The man in red, Ben McCarrigle from Omagh, leading the man in blue, Pat McGurn, by 6 points to 2 at the end of a busy enough first round. This is the first Ulster senior final for the two of them. McCarrigle, now 30 years old, a joiner by trade and part-time fireman, originally from Strabane. Pat McGurn, a farm advisor. Used to box at Queen's University. He's left his student days behind him by quite a few years. He's 28, and McCarrigle 2 years older at 30. Good solid right by McCarrigle. And a solid right-hand punch to the chest, and that will count. Well, it was the almost but not quite low punch that stopped McGurn and slowed him down, and then the left hook to the head really put paid to any thoughts he had of coming forward. So that's the first 8 count of the contest. It's gone against Pat McGurn. And that's going to be the second, and I'm not sure that Paul Carson won't decide, experienced referee that he is, that he may just have had enough. 3 8 counts means he has to stop, and Paul Carson has decided that Pat McGurn has had quite enough, and a lot of delight on the face of the 30-year-old Ben McGarrigle, his first Ulster Senior final and his first Ulster Senior title. He'll go home with the McAuley Cup.
So this looks being a hot one. I think everybody here says it's going to be. Dennis Oakes there in the gold trunks from St Helens. He's won all 5 fights, stopped 3 of them, and a good crafty fighter in Steve Robinson from Cardiff. Featherweight division, 9 stone exactly. Robinson, 8-13 Oakes. Scheduled for 8. And well, they tell me the St Helens fighter is an exciting puncher with the Mike Atkinson camp. His dad, old Charlie, was John Conti's first trainer. Good crafty, cagey performer of Robinson. I haven't seen him a couple of times. Never been stopped. So if Oakes is the puncher they think he is, he's really got to go something tonight to stop this fellow. In fact, Robinson's got a win over Neil Haddock. That was a cut eye injury stoppage. Keeping their hands up well here, Jim. I think they both heard about the other's reputation.
Yeah, already this is looking like a good one, Reg. You know, they're standing toe-to-toe, not too much movement on the feet. Put punches together. Well, Robinson fairly sharp looking. I think this is going to be Oakes' toughest so far.
A minute to go in the opening round then. There you are, you're up in there with them in that infighting. The referee obviously not calling breaks there because they just weren't holding, they were cleverly standing in front of each other.
Robinson's left hand to the body, very impressive in the first round here. Good compact little fighter Robinson is.
Well, now this fellow knows that it's going to be some contest, and there's his rundowns. I say, won them all, and it's a real Atkinson night out there. On the outside, one of the doyens of the game, Charles Atkinson Sr., Mike Atkinson, his son, and there's the advisor on the Fight Night series, another Charles Atkinson.
Corners, 10 seconds. Seconds out. Round 2.
Second round in this 8-rounder at featherweight. And an interesting opener this. They were both, well, not exactly sparring for openings, but they close up, toe to toe. They weren't skirting around the ring all the time. good to see a bit of infighting at this level of the game, Jim, isn't it? They're fighting well at close quarters.
Yeah, but it's been close quarters action right from the first bell, and the referee hasn't had to break them up at all. They're not clinching and holding, they're just letting the punches go. This is actually going to be a difficult one to score because there's nothing between the two of them at all, especially in the first round. I think it's going to take a few rounds to separate these two, very evenly matched. Robinson's left to the body, very impressive looking punch.
Yeah, he looked a bit sickened by that, Oates. He might disagree with me, but he gave the impression of being, didn't he?
Well, you can see Oakes' body is a little bit red, showing the effects of the body punch. Another good left hand to the body. That didn't look low to me.
No, I wouldn't have thought so. I'm
That
surprised.
one looked all right.
That's because the referee's so tall, Jim. He's looking down at them.
And that was a nice little step to the side from Robinson. You can see he's picked up a few gymnasium tricks. Just made himself some room to get the punches in. Yeah, going to be a tough one for Oakes, this.
I think they might have, it looks as though they've over-tested him at 5 fights.
I see some blood on Oakes' eye. I don't know if it's come from the nose or if it's actually a cut. It looks like a cut over the eye. We'll have to wait till we get a better look at it.
Yeah, it is, Jim. It's right over the right eye. That's a shame. Hope it doesn't cause a stoppage. It's an interesting fight, this. Oh, it looks quite a nasty one, too.
Well, Robinson looking certainly the sharper of the two in the second round here. I think that the body shots have taken their toll a little bit. Full credit to Oakes. He's gritting his teeth and firing back.
Coming up to the end of this round, and certainly Oakes could do with some quick surgery in the corner there. Yeah, it's a nasty looking cut that Mike Atkinson's got to deal with there, with the usual coagulates of adrenaline. Lots of pressure. Oh, that's a surprising place, that, Jim. I would have thought a head clash. It's well away from the danger area, really, isn't it? Look, isn't that surprising up there?
Yeah, the trouble is if it bleeds, it's directly above the eye. I didn't actually see any clashes of heads. So there's been a lot of close-up action all the way through. The first couple of rounds, they've hardly left each other alone, so there's always a possibility of an accidental clash, but this is really good action. Real good action all the way through. I hope the cut doesn't halt the action.
Referee still in the corner there, waiting for the third round. I don't think he fancies this. No, he's given it to Robinson at the end of the second. Well, that was a disappointing finish.